Attention all men, if you want more sex, stop doing the chicks' chores. No, really, they'll like it. Trust me. Hey guys, Trace here for D-News. It's Labor Day weekend, so let's talk about labor. How do you feel about housework? Probably the same way everybody feels about housework, am I right? Traditionally speaking, there are two types of housework. Females do the cleaning and the cooking, and then males do the bill paying and the yard work and the car maintenance. Splitting things along these gender lines isn't awesome for the modern life, but it does increase the amount of sex a couple is gonna have. Seriously, a study by the University of Washington concludes that when housework is split along traditional gender roles, the couples have 30% more sex. Now before you toss in the dish rag men, there is more science coming up here, so pay attention. The reason for this increase isn't really known. This is a correlated study, so the researchers are not saying split the chores this way and thus you will get more sex. They're saying couples who naturally split the chores this way also tend to have more sex. Correlation versus causation. That being said, why would this be the case? The scientists looked at the idea of sex trading, like saying, I bring home the bacon and I'll give you the whatever food metaphor you're into, but they ruled that out. They also ruled out coercion, like saying, hey, I bring home the bacon, so you should make me happy. So really, what's the play here? Well, firstly, higher marital satisfaction is correlated with higher sexual frequency. And secondly, we live in a far more egalitarian home today than we did 20 years ago. That being said, it would seem generations of traditional gender roles can't just be swept aside so easily. Another study published in the American Sociological Review states that these sexual scripts have been in place for a long time. So even though our evolved brains are more willing to set aside those gender roles, the more subconscious sexual part of our brains appreciate those roles for some reason. It's not that men like seeing women cook and clean. Instead, it has more to do with how we're socialized into those gender roles. That's a much harder habit to break as a group. Honestly, outside of social norms, we're not really sure what is causing this to happen. Perhaps couples who already split chores in this way are more into sex, or perhaps some men feel resentment or feel emasculated when they perform what they see as a female-only task, or more likely, there's a lot more that we don't know about human sexuality in the modern family. This study was done with data from 4,500 couples from the early 90s, so there's no doubt that the roles of men and women have changed a bit since then, if only by the simple fact that we're used to seeing women take on more traditional male roles like doctors and CEOs and members of the US Congress. In 1992, there were 32 women in Congress. In 2013, there are 98, and that number has increased nearly every election cycle since 1970. So what do you think of this study? Tell us in the comments below and click subscribe, because that's what men do in traditional gender. I'm just kidding. That's just kidding. Thanks for watching D-News, everybody. I'm Trace. Catch you later, brah.